Let me start by asking this question. That for those who understands, or for those who knows this, what is the meaning of the word kihi? What is the meaning of the word kihi? I think that is how it's pronounced. Kihi. Because how would a woman just threaten a man? How would Muranga women rep threaten a man?
Yes.
Well, while you are abortion on it, if I target you, I will dismantle you like a kihig. Go away. Go dismantle kihig, and you know me, I don't use my one. You come and now the recording, who record you to a show, walk and have you go to and I have dared you.
Anyway, welcome back once again to Bonita Media, fellow Kenyans. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your greatest support. I really appreciate you for your support, what you're doing, subscribing. Please, I just request you that don't leave this video without subscribing. Because some of us, we watch the video and then we forget to subscribe. You can as well like so that this video can reach as many people as possible. I wanted to say this, that William Samoei, I've been doing a lot of research, asking questions, and I've come to conclusion that it is, we have two things. William Ruto thinks that it's impossible for him to be taken to ICC. Kenyans believes that it is possible for Ruto to go to ICC. And that is why I want us to talk about this video. It might be a bit long, but because of the explanations, because of the details of what I want to talk about, please, I would like you to just listen to me from the beginning up to the end, because at the end of the video, we are going to understand a lot of things. Back in 2023, William Samoei Ruto signed a project known as Malabo. Now, this Malabo project was signed by William Samoei Ruto because it allows presidents or leaders not to be prosecuted, or not to be their cases not to be taken to outside Africa. In short, they're supposed to be the African leaders are supposed to have their own judgment. Like the judgment is supposed to be done in Africa. Like, for instance, William Samoei Ruto being the president of the Republic of Kenya, whether he's still the president or he retires, his case is not supposed to go beyond Africa. He's supposed to be judged within Africa.
The killings that are taking place in Kenya are all crimes under the Rome Statutes and are admissible before the International Criminal Court. I want to confirm that we have put up a team that is documenting all the atrocities, all the killings, all the displacements, all the disappearances, all the abductions. And we have a team that is putting evidence together to take William Ruto to the ICC at The Hague. And you know, the case against him for the 2007 post-election violence was not concluded. It was put on hold when witnesses disappeared. So his file is still open. In addition, we have formed a committee under Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General, the Committee on Restorative Justice, that again is looking at issues that when we form government, we will look into the composition of Gen Zs who have been abducted and killed and other families that have faced atrocities under this administration.
But the big question is, why Malabo? Before we get into why Malabo, I would like to say this. The moment of victory is normally a moment of danger. Why? Because you always try to praise your luck here and there, but while in this moment, don't always try to push your emotions beyond your goal, and don't go past the mark that you said. Sometimes it's good to learn when to stop. It is good to learn when to stop. Now let us get into this. Why Malabo? And I want to read for you something here. Don't be mad. Don't be angry as a Kenyan. I know this one is going to hit you a little bit, but please, I just want us to go from the beginning up to the end. This is what it says. Outrage Ruto, outrages as Ruto signed Malabo protocol to set up African court. The Malabo protocol grants immunity to officials while in office. Ruto's move comes as Azimio collects evidence of police brutality for the ICC. Remember that time. Now, this is what it says. Kenyan rights groups have joined the growing protest against President William Ruto's move to ratify the Malabo Protocol to establish the African Court of Justice and Human Rights. In a joint statement, the Kenyan Human Rights Commission, KHRC, and Muslim for Human Rights, that is the MUHURI, say the decision offers Ruto and of other state officials immunity against potential international criminal crimes that may be committed while in office. Interesting. Ruto and his senior state officials will not be prosecuted until they leave office, the group says. But is it really easy? That is the question. Is it easy? Initially, civil society groups had complained that by signing this protocol, President Ruto was shielding himself from the International Criminal Court in case he commits crime that the International Court handles. However, government officials have since clarified that the signing of the Malabo protocols has nothing to do with ICC. According to the African Court of Justice and Human Rights, officials' website, 34 member states have ratified the protocol establishing the African Court. Now, I know that a lot of people are asking that why did William Ruto decide to sign the Malabo? Now, this is the reason. Let me just read it for you so that you can understand it. The adoption of the Malabo Protocol in June 2014 was a culmination of a protracted and complex process. The formal process of expanding the jurisdiction of the ACJHR to cover crimes under international law as well as transnational crimes began in February 2009. However, long before February 2009, the idea had been moved and debated in different contexts and forums. The Malabo Protocol is therefore a product of developments within the continent dating to as far back as the 1980s, as well as of external developments that precipitated the resolves of the AU to seriously consider the idea of a regional criminal court. Historical antecedents of 1980s 2008. Now these are the reasons why now these guys are really focusing on signing the Malabo. The proposal to establish a court on the African continent to try crimes under international law have not just arisen recently. This was first suggested in the early 1980s during the drafting of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, after African Charter. In particular, Guinea proposed that an African Human Rights Court should be established to try violation of human rights as well as crimes under international law. At this stage, it was, however, felt premature to establish an African Human Rights Court. Instead, the African Commission of Human and People's Rights, hereafter African Commissions, and an 11 members quiz judicial treaty body was established. The possibility of a court was, however, left open. as the idea was thought to be a good and useful one, which could be introduced in future by means of an additional protocol to the charter. Discussions around the possibility of establishing an African criminal court resurfaced in July 2004 when the question of election of judges to the African Court on Human and People's Rights, hereafter African Human Rights Court, came before the AU Assembly. By this time, two important institutions developments had occurred within the AU. Firstly, about a year earlier, the AU had adopted the Protocol of Court of Justice of the African Union, laying down the legal framework for the operationalization of the African Court of Justice as the principal judicial organ of the Union. Secondly, in January of the same year, 2004, the protocol for the African Charter of the establishment of the African Court of Human and People's Rights had come into force, paving way for the elections of judges. The primary role invested for the African Human Rights Court was and is to complement the productive mandate of the African Commission by hearing cases and issues binding judgment on human rights violation. Now, the main reasons why William Samoei decided to sign this thing back in 2023 was because he knew very well that if at all he does anything, if anything happens, then he will be judged within Africa, not outside. But the question is, does this thing apply in AU or maybe in ICC? Can it work? Can it really work? The answer is that it can't work. Why? First of all, I want us to understand that this thing was only signed by 15 countries. It has got a total of 34 countries. Out of the 34 countries, only 15 countries signed. And then the rest of the countries, that is around 19 countries ratified, they didn't sign it. But this one does not apply. In fact, the AU, the ICC doesn't know anything concerning this. So this issue that, oh, Mara William Samoei Ruto is doing this, Mara William Samoei Ruto has signed, oh, Mara so is inevitable, Mara Ruto is supreme. William Ruto, the president, is not supreme to the ICC. Is not supreme. Let us get that narrative out of our mouth that William Ruto is supreme. He is not supreme. So he might be doing things thinking that maybe he's bigger than ICC, but we all have to understand that William Ruto is not immune to ICC. In as much as maybe one of his lawyers, that is, his name is Karim Khan. Karim Khan was elected, is now the ICC prosecutor. Not the chief prosecutor, but the ICC prosecutor. I don't know about Fatou Bensouda, by the way, but this narrative, oh, Mara William Samoei Ruto, Mara Ruto ni mkubwa kuliko nini, I think it should stop. And let us now face this thing head on. The thing is, William Ruto cannot escape this. It is high time this person be taken to court. It is high time the ICC launched their investigations. In as much as the opposition being led by Rigathi Gachagwa's team are saying that they are collecting evidence and then they take it to ICC for William Ruto to be charged, then it should be done. And if at all it's done, then there is no single way that this person is going to escape this. Let us stop the pretense. It is high time Ruto faces the wrath. Instead of, Ruto thinks, one thing I know is that maybe this guy thinks that he is bigger than Africa. Or maybe he's bigger than Kenya, One thing he's failing to understand is that Kenyans are speaking one voice. And the one voice that Kenyans are speaking is that Ruto must go. They don't care how Ruto is going. I heard him the other time asking that, how do you want me to go? The narrative is Ruto must go. How do you want me to go? He will go. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. By the end of the day, he must go. So fellow Kenyans, I would like to give you a chance in the comment section to tell me what you think concerning this. The reasons why now Ruto is, that is, after signing this, that is now you find that Ruto is so much arrogant, like he is doing things the way he wants, because he knows at the end of the day, nothing will be done to him. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to click the subscribe button.